Can you guys believe that it's almost 2026 and I'm here doing a goals video? That's kind of crazy. I feel like December specifically has flown by. Like when I'm filming this, we're already halfway through December and I have no clue how I have spent any day in December. Like I feel like I haven't done anything, but like where did all my days go? Like I'm losing track of time here and it's kind of crazy and I'm definitely not ready for 2026, but let's talk about some of my goals. But first, I do want to say thank you to everyone who has watched my videos and subscribed. This year has been the year that I've been somewhat the most consistent. There have definitely been some months that haven't been as consistent as others, but overall this has been my most consistent year on YouTube and I've gained quite a lot of subscribers. I am over 100 subscribers in this year alone and it's very crazy. I'm almost at 300, which is just wild to think about. So thank you to everyone who watches my videos. It really does mean a lot. And also thank you to everyone who comments on my videos and like gives me book recs and everything. That is just so nice of you guys. It really does just mean so much to me. I've never had any channel goals before and I'm not going to really set any, but I do want to continue my consistency going on into 2026. That's kind of my only goal. I will say that this year I have gotten a little better with my thumbnails. I got Canva Pro this year and so I've been messing around with a lot of features on there, but I do want to get like better at my video editing. I'm the kind of person who stutters so much when I speak. I stumble over my words. I mess up a lot of the times when I'm talking, so I'm always cutting things out of my videos and I would like those cuts to be a lot smoother and I would just like to get better at my video editing skills in general. That's not really a goal, but it's just something I'm keeping in mind going forward, that I just want my editing skills to get better. But again, not really a goal. So yeah, but let's go ahead and talk about my actual reading goals because that's what we're here to talk about. Firstly, I set my reading goal number at 100 books. I have, for like the past 5 years now, always read over 100 books, but I don't like putting pressure on myself to read. I already know that I read a lot, so I never want to put pressure on myself to read any more that I already do. I am in college full time, so I know that I'm busy. I have no desire to read more than I am, so 100 is just my flatline goal. I always reach it. It's not a stretch goal or anything, so yeah, very basic goal. For 2025, I had my one goal of reading down my TBR. I started out 2025 with 341 books on my TBR, which is absolutely wild to think about. That includes physical books, ebooks, audiobooks, all books that I actually owned. And that many books is just so crazy. It stressed me out. It gave me so much anxiety. So my goal for 2025 was to read down my TBR as much as possible. I didn't set an actual number that I wanted my TBR to be at by the end of the year, but my TBR currently, as I'm filming this, is 151. I got so many books off my TBR. I DNF'd a lot. I obviously read a lot. I have spent quite a lot of money on books. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video where I break down how many books I actually hauled in 2025 and like break that down or anything, but I know that I hauled over 100 books this year and I spent so much money. Definitely not as much money if I had actually purchased all those books. A lot of those books were sent to me by publishers, gifted to me by friends, whatever, but I did spend over $500 on books in 2025, and that is so much. So my goal for 2026 is to continue reading down my TBR. I think I can definitely get my TBR to be around 20 books. I feel like having 20 books on my TBR is like a good number for me. And again, this is going to be physical books, ebooks, audiobooks, any books that I actually own. So I think I want to set my number at 20 and I want to maintain that number through the year. And also just stop buying so many books. I really have to stop buying so many books, stop spending so much money on books. The whole consumerism part of it is just, I go to a bookstore and I just have to buy something. If there's a sale, then I have to buy it. And I have so many books on my TBR. I really do not need to be constantly buying so many new books. So yeah, I really gotta stop that. And so yeah, I definitely think that is possible in the new year. And also along with that, I would like to, if I do buy any books, to not buy any books from Barnes and Nobles. I already stopped buying books off of Amazon. I don't buy any books off of Amazon. I don't use Audible, anything like that. But I would like to stop going to Barnes and Nobles, or at least stop buying books there. I do live in an area that has independent bookstores around me, and I do travel a lot around the state that I live in, and there's so many indie bookstores around. So if I do buy any books, I want to make sure that it is from an indie bookstore, just because I'd rather support indie bookstores than bookstores like Barnes and Nobles. So that is also a goal of mine. I feel like all of my goals kind of interconnect, I guess, but yeah. So when I do buy books, I would like them to be books that I have already read and I know that I already love. So obviously I want to read more from my library, make sure I actually like those books before I spend my own money, or before like someone gifts me a book. I would like to know that I already love that book and I just want to add it to my collection, because I do like having books on my shelves that I love, and I have that like very curated collection. Obviously, not every book on my shelves I've given 5 stars, but I would just rather only purchase books that I already know that I love. Besides only shopping indie bookstores, I also want to focus my reading a lot more on indie authors and by indie publishers. I have been keeping track of that this year for 2025, so I might put a little graph up on the screen somewhere of like my current balance between traditionally published and indie published authors. But while I do feel like I am doing okay at this already, I want to put more of an emphasis on it going forward, just because hyped books, hyped authors, and just traditionally published books in general have just really not been hitting the same way this year. So I do want to focus a little more on these underrated authors who aren't getting the big marketing push. And speaking about hyped books, I definitely want to stop reading as many hyped books. I am someone who, when I go online and I see people raving about a book, I want to join in on the hype. I want to read it. This also makes me buy the book. And so many times this year I have read a hyped book, specifically romantasy, I will say, and I've hated it. I'm talking Alchemized, I'm talking Quicksilver, like books like that have just gotten so hyped, that are traditionally published, traditionally backed, that everyone's hyping about. I just really have to stop reading those because I don't end up liking them. I just need to focus more on books that I am actually excited about and I want to read, even if no one else is talking about it, which does make it a little less fun, but these hyped books, they're just not doing it. And also traditionally published romance specifically, I feel like has really fallen off this year for me. I have not found that many new favorites, and I feel like the favorite romances that I had this year are by indie authors who then got picked up to be traditionally published. So yeah, that is kind of gray area in my goal. I don't really know what I want to do with that, if it's an indie author who then gets picked up after publishing books independently. Like, I don't know what I want to do with that, but yeah, traditionally published romance where they've been traditionally published from the beginning, I feel like they're just way too trope based and just they don't have the substance and the emotional backing that I've been looking for in romance. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of other people have had this problem and have been talking about it, and so yeah, it is something I have personally noticed with my reading this year, but I want to focus more on independent authors, books that are less hyped, that kind of vibe. All right, and the last reading goal that I have is one that I have been tracking for 2 years now. I will put up a little graph on the screen for this one as well, but this one is going to push me a little bit, but that is to read more translated works and books set in different countries. So I have tracked it for 2024 and 2025 without making it a goal for myself or without pushing myself to actually focus on these books and prioritize them, but I am over 20 different countries that I have read from already, so I want to focus a lot on reading from more countries, and I have a little map up on the screen, but I want to fill this map out a whole lot more in 2026. That is my goal. I have not read too many translated books, but the ones that I have read I have really enjoyed, and I just want to continue exploring that area of reading. I definitely have a very US UK centered reading where a lot of the books take place in the US or the UK, and I just want to expand my horizons, read from other places, learn a lot more. Specifically, I want to make sure that I'm reading from at least one new country every month. It is something that I want to heavily track and focus on, and yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a series on my channel talking about it, because I have seen a lot of people do that, and also on Bookstagram where they read books from that country or set in that country or from authors who are from that country, and they make it one whole video or one whole Instagram post. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything like that or if it's just going to be something I just work on personally, but it is definitely my biggest goal that I really want to focus on, because again, I've tracked this for 2 years now. I see where my reading is and just where I naturally pick up books, and it's definitely not as good as I want it to be. For books where I'm tracking if they have queer rep or are by BIPOC authors or with any sort of diversity or representation in them, I have also tracked, and I'm always above 75% of my reading having some sort of diversity or representation in them, which is why I never make that a goal anymore. But I did notice that there was a hole missing in translated works and books set in other countries, so that is why I am making it a goal and why I have tracked it for the past 2 years. So yeah, definitely a big goal of mine. I feel like I rambled about that, but yeah, it's just something that I personally really want to do and really want to fix in my reading life. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for books set in countries that I haven't yet read from, definitely leave them down in the description, because I very badly need the recs. I have some on my TBR already, but I do also want to make sure that they're books that I'm actually going to be interested in, and I don't want to read them just for the sake that it meets the goal. I want them to actually be something that I would normally pick up and I would normally want to read. I don't want to read a classic just because it's set in that country. I want to read from the genres that I already tend to read, and yeah. I know this one's going to be a bit hard to accomplish, but I know that I can do it, and I'm very excited to see how it goes. But those are all of my 2026 reading goals. I feel like this was definitely a bit of a rambly video, so hopefully that's okay, but thank you all so much for making it this far into the video. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what your reading goals are for 2026 and what you think about my reading goals, if any of them are the same and all that. And if you don't want to do that, you can just leave me the little book stack emoji. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. It truly does mean a lot to me. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!